Good morning. Thank the media for coming. Thank everybody else for coming. We just have 3 days before the start of the Bridge Crossing Jubilee, and there's been a very special development. Of course, Reverend Jessie Jackson died, and he has, they've been having various kinds of programs for him in Chicago and South Carolina and Washington, D.C., but they also have one here in Selma on Sunday morning. Fire Rose Teray has been involved in negotiating all of this for Selma, and I want to let her go forth first.
Okay, and Godfrey, feel free to join us because the Voices vote will be giving him a special musical celebration. First, I want to say Jessie Jackson just wasn't a civil rights legend. He just wasn't a friend. He was an American hero. Many people are saying he's a civil rights hero. What Jessie Jackson did helped to impact the very quality of life in this democracy. And we know that prior to August 6, 1965, there was no democracy in America. It's when the Civil Rights Bill was passed on August 6 that we became, and Jessie Jackson had a lot to do with it. He was here in '65, and he never missed a march. He was here last year in a wheelchair. And what is also special about Jessie, not only did he impact the economy, legislation dealing with voting rights, human rights, civil rights, but he is the only national leader that has come here to help us with this museum. And I stress that because this museum has a room in honor of Jessie Jackson. It's probably the only museum in the country that honors him with a room, because we realized long before he became ill of his impact on our voting rights, our civil rights, and our human rights. To give you some idea of his impact, before coming here, I got a text from the leader of the Hindus for civil rights, Hindus for voting rights, and they said, we want to come to Selma. We want to help honor and recognize not just Jessie Jackson, but all those heroes and sheroes who are no longer with us. But because they came, we can go forward and make this democracy stronger and better. I would like to emphasize several things that will happen. Not only are people invited to the Evans Building for the celebration on Sunday from 9:30 to 11:30 at the Evans Building, that's right off of Ward Avenue. Everyone is invited. There will be at least 200 people from Operation Push. They had planned to come before Jessie died. And the president, the new president of Push, which is his youngest son, said, I know that my father would still want those 200 people to come to Selma, because Jessie Jackson always said, everyone that believes in democracy should make the pilgrimage to Selma. So those 200 people will be here with us. And Mr. Jackson, his son, said, I'm going to leave the funeral. Heck, he's going to be here Saturday night. Yeah. He's not taking a chance on Sunday morning. Mm-hmm. And so we invite people. We will also be joining in the homegoing services at the Evans Building Saturday at 11 o'clock. So there's a lot going on, but we cannot fail to mention the name of this American hero, the Reverend Jessie Jackson. Thank you.
I just want to briefly say I've written sketches for this coming week, and the refrain is that Jessie impacted the world. We hear a lot about him impacting voting rights and running for office and those kinds of things. But I recall when Jessie went to Syria to be able to get somebody who had been captured, and then he went to Kosovo in Europe, and then he went to Cuba, and then he went to several other places. He was active in trying to free South Africa, and he just had impact all over the world. And when he says, "I am somebody," that had a lot of impact on children, had a lot of impact across the country, but it also had impact on people in Africa and Asia and other places. Wherever people had been colonized, they didn't know how much they were somebody, and Jessie ended up lifting that. But he also impacted people with his statement concerning keep hope alive, because sometimes we feel hopeless, and that's one of his legacies, keep hope alive. And the last thing I want to say is that it may not have been what he said, but somebody said, when they say, "Run, Jessie, run."
Run, Jessie, run.
In other words, we need to keep on living. Now, I don't think that Jessie Jackson would want anybody to try to fill his shoes, but he'd want every one of us to bring our shoes and leave our footprints on the sand of time as we try to make this world a better place to be able to live, work, live, work, and serve. I think he would want us to bring boots, because boots are more prepared to march in than shoes.
He also went to Silicon Valley and Wall Street. He actually made some black millionaires, y'all. As I said, his service was widespread. I want to also tell you a special tribute that will take place on the bridge next Sunday. Many of y'all know Asher Havan. He's from Selma. He's the winner of The Voice. He specifically requested that he wants to sing right at that bridge before we march Sunday. And also vote Voices of Triumph Emerging. I've written a special song for Jessie, and I'm not sure that song will be sung, but Jessie would not bow to anybody. He always stood strong. And so there will be special music contributions for him Sunday, and the front of that march will be led by young people along with our foot soldiers, because they'll be carrying a banner that said, "He's still keeping hope alive." He's still. And I'm very confident that his son, who has taken over Operation Push, he's been phenomenal. As he's planning his father's transition in D.C. and South Carolina, he's been very involved in making sure that Selma also honors an American hero, because that's who he was, an American hero, not just a civil rights hero. Any questions? Well, I hope y'all take some pictures of the Jessie Jackson room, please. We're trying to get as much out on this museum as possible, y'all, because we really need this museum to survive. So if y'all don't mind taking a few pictures of the Jessie Jackson room, we would appreciate it. It's small but powerful.